right, Bo.
Bo, down to your right. Hi. You've been dreaming of this moment since you joined this organization. You're now here. How well did you sleep last night? Are you nervous or excited? Or are you today? What are the feelings?
Yeah, just a lot of excitement. I think, like you said, this is why we play, is to get an opportunity in the playoffs, and so yeah, just a lot of excitement and anxious to get the game started for sure.
Next question.
Hey, Bo.
Back left. Oh,
with George and some of the vets on the team, have you been talking to them about the environment? 'Cause obviously in 2020 there was no fans. Have you been having any conversations with any of them about what the experience will be like?
No, not really, because we've been talking about it for years now, so no need to have any last minute talks about it, but I know everybody's really excited, and like I said, just can't wait to get it started.
going the back left here, Bo.
Hey, Bo, thanks for the time. Wondering, when you look back to 2020 and that team and compare it to this team that you guys have right now, how is this team different and stronger than that 2020 team?
I think just more experience, more maturity. I mean, there's obviously there's new faces in the clubhouse and who have helped us a lot and got us to this point. But I think just maturity and experience. Got a lot more games under our belt, and yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it.
Back left over here.
Hi, Bo. Thanks for taking my question. What does home field advantage mean for you guys? And obviously playing your first postseason game here in Toronto, we look back to 2015, 2016. We know how rocking this city can be. What sort of factor is this going to play in for you guys?
It means a lot to be here. Like I said earlier, this is something that I would say majority of our team has been hoping to experience for a long time now, and so to get that opportunity is really special. But at the end of the day, we still got to play a good game, and we're only gonna get through this series if we go out there and play well. So that's our focus.
Go over in the third row on the end there. On the right.
Hey, Bo. You're a different team now. You have a different manager now. But do you look back at the series in Seattle in July? And if so, what do you take from it, and what do you throw away from it?
Not much to take from it, I don't think. But I mean, bottom line is that's a really good team over there. They have a lot of really good players, and regardless of what happened at the beginning of the year, whenever that was, we're gonna have to play a good few games here to get by. So yeah, I don't think anything from that in particular, but we understand the talent they have, and we're gonna need to play well.
Just off the center here, Bo.
Hi, Bo. Obviously, you weren't here in 2015, but at the time, I mean, the city, the whole country went nuts for the Blue Jays. There's a blue wave across the country. I'm wondering, I mean, this is your real first taste of it when being here in the playoffs here in Toronto, when everything is sort of open. And I'm wondering, what's your sense of the vibe in the city? And have you had any sort of interactions with fans and stuff, just being in and around, people wishing you well, or just, I don't know?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not out too much, but I definitely think you can find, you can feel, excitement about this team, and I think they've been watching us grow up for a few years now, so waiting for us to get to this moment. So now we're here, and yeah, I think there's a lot of excitement, and I think you'll see it in the stadium tonight.
Back right.
Hey, Bo. John was just talking about you and the way over the course of the year you found that right balance between not trying to force things, being able to attack, and finding your game, kind of saying that Vlad's kind of gone through the same thing. I'm wondering if you could describe a little bit kind of how you found that right balance between aggression and not trying to force things, and maybe what you've seen from Vlad in that regard as well.
First off, I think it's pretty special what Vlad's been able to do, and people are talking about him not being, what he's doing, what he's capable of. So, I think when push comes to shove, Vlad normally figures it out. So I don't think there's any worry there. But for me, just being aggressive and not worrying about what, the wrong things that could happen, just focusing on my game plan and focusing focus on attacking that. That's pretty much it.
We're on the right side, third row. Up to.
Bo, you've known Alek Manoah a long time. Seeing the things that he's done this year, I mean, he's gone over his career high in innings by 85 and how good he was down the stretch. Silly to ask, what are you expecting from him today, but how much are you looking forward to him getting the ball in a playoff game?
Yeah, it should be fun. I mean, he seems like he definitely eats these moments up, so I'll be excited to watch him. He's just an ultra competitor, and you know, at this point, at this level, everybody's got talent, so competitiveness normally can separate you, and he definitely competes better than most, so I'm excited to see him.
Front row here.
Hey, Bo, when you think about this season as a whole, what did you learn about yourself, and what did you learn about this Blue Jays team?
I don't know if we learned anything else. I mean, we've always known how good we are and what we're capable of accomplishing, and this year definitely had its ups and downs. I think, you know, if we didn't know it already, we have a lot of fight, and we're going to continue to bounce back no matter what happens and get up and keep fighting, and I think we've done that quite a few times this year, and we'll keep on doing it as long as we can. So, yeah, I mean, I don't think we learned anything new, but just more clarification on what we're capable of doing and, you know, the fight that we have.
Third row on the right, fourth row on the right.
Hi, Bo. You guys have a core group of players who played together and won together in the minor leagues. I know this is a much bigger stage, but do you feel that that experience of winning in the minors is helpful now?
I'm not really sure. This is completely different, so, I mean, we just go out there and play hard like we did in the minors. I mean, I guess it's no different in reality, but like I said, that's a great team over there, and every team we play from here on out, if we're going to win a World Series, is a great team, and so, you know, I guess just like the minors, we got to go out there and we got to play well. So, I mean, that's pretty much it.
On the left over here.
Hey, Bo, since you made your debut, you've always been very confident about what this team is capable of. What have you seen over the last 4 to 6 weeks that has maybe shown you that this team is perhaps as good as it's been since you've been up?
Yeah, like I said earlier, I've believed in this team through ups and downs. I don't think the way we've played and down the stretch makes me believe anymore. I've always known what we can do, and like I said, we just get up and we keep on fighting no matter what. And yeah, I mean, that's, like I said, that's what we'll continue to do. I don't think that I've learned any more about this team from anything that's happened.
Anything else for Bo? All right, thank you, Bo.
Alrighty.
Hi, George. This isn't your first rodeo in the playoffs, but it is your first time in the crowded Rogers Center in playoffs. How do you expect that's going to be? How much have you thought about what the atmosphere is going to be like? Have you looked back on the Bautista Encarnacion walk-offs and bat flips?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone that's played the game has seen those. You know, you've seen the pictures, you've seen the highlights of what seems to be just kind of looks like an earthquake. So yeah, you know, as obviously us as players understand the atmosphere, understand what that was like, and you know, we're looking forward to getting back out there, you know, being home and in our home ballpark.
Ross and John yesterday talked about leadership, how important it would be with a young core like Vladdy and Bo. Any last-minute tip for them today?
Just have fun, enjoy it. You know, you never know if you're going to get back here. Never know if you're going to be in a playoff race ever again. So, you know, for us to be home, to be one in our home ballpark, just go have fun, enjoy it, and, you know, let the chips fall where they may.
Just to the left of the middle here, George.
Hi, George.
Hey.
How much you've been around for a while? You've won a World Series. You've been around electric atmospheres, but How much are you looking forward to tonight to be able to see in this crowd? I mean, based on what you've seen, before from the Bautista and Encarnacion days, do you expect to, I don't know, maybe get tingles when you see that, or are you beyond that?
I mean, I can't wait, and I know all of us can't wait. There's a lot of guys, who work in the organization who have pretty much all they talk about is, that 15-16 run where the Rogers Center felt like it was going to fall over. So, I think you as a player, you naturally want that, and you want to feel those moments and see it, because that's why you play the game is to experience stuff like that. And again, for us to be home, to have that opportunity today and is awesome. So I expect us to go have fun, and we'll see what happens.
And how would you describe sort of the character of the team? I mean, every time we see video in the dugout, I mean, it's either somebody putting on the jacket, everybody's smiling. I've never seen so many teeth in my life. It's much different than past teams, which were very serious. Sometimes people can be critical of that. I mean, but how do you view it? I mean, how do you see the team and sort of how they approach the game?
I mean, I don't see us doing anything else than being ourselves. Being, who we are all year is kind of what got us, to this point. To earn a chance to play at home. And again, this is already a hard enough game. So you got to have fun. You got to enjoy the moment. Because again, you just don't know if you're ever going to get back here. Yeah, I know there's a fine line between, having fun and kind of messing around and not paying attention. But I don't see that being an issue with our team.
Third row on the right, George.
George, further to the questions about the crowd, we've asked a few of the Jays who were in the playoffs in 2020 when there was nobody there, and they were out in 24 hours. You got to the cusp of the World Series that year. How different was that experience playing in front of nobody, and how much more does that make you look forward to this?
Yeah, I mean, that's a weird time, I think, in everyone's life. It's a weird time for the world in general. But to be playing in a 50,000 seat stadium and just be cardboard and fake crowd noise and stuff like that, it's odd. It's a weird thing. It just felt like you were just kind of playing in like a gym that was just unoccupied. But at the same time, you knew that there was a chance to get to the World Series. So I think the postseason is always the postseason. It's just a weird time that none of us had ever been through before, and now here we are.
And with your playoff experience, obviously you've been around so many big game pitchers. What is it about Alek Manoah that makes everybody so confident he's going to be able to step up into that echelon too?
Just who he is. I think his personality, his makeup, kind of his mentality, gives us all, faith. He debuted in New York, which is not the easiest place to play in. It doesn't matter what, if it's April or October, it's not easy to play there. And he pitched well, and he never seemed bothered. He never seems fazed by anything. Not unless he's a really, really good actor, but I just think that's who he is. And to give him the ball today is huge for us.
Go in the fourth row on the left over here, George.
Hey, George, you've been able to see and appreciate both the fun side and the competitive side of Vlad Guerrero Jr. What do you expect from him in his first real taste of this kind of stuff?
I expect him to be who he is. Obviously, it gets lost on a lot of people. He's only 23 years old, and to be your first playoff experience. Obviously, we've all seen the highlights of this place. We've all heard about it. But at the same time, I mean, this is fun. This is why you play the game. This is what you talk about when you show up to spring training back, in February is having these moments, having these chances. And again, it's a progression, and I expect him to go be himself. And if he's not, oh well, it's not the end of the world, but I expect him to be himself.
Back left over here, George.
Hey, George. In 2015, you got your first taste of postseason action. What kind of emotions were you feeling that day when you woke up that morning, if you can remember?
I remember truthfully being scared as I could be. I mean, that was the first time I'd ever, one, played in the playoffs, but two, it was the first time I'd ever played in New York. And, you know, we went into New York. We had to wait till 8 o'clock to play. I mean, it was kind of one of those things where you just wake up and you're just like, all right, I want to play now. And it was 8 in the morning. And you're like, all right, I got to wait 12 hours to go. But, you know, just understanding for me, at least, you know, the team that I was playing that day, you know, the atmosphere that we were going to play. But then as the game got closer and the first pitch started, you know, kind of all that went away. And you're just playing baseball. And, you know, once we ended up getting past that, you know, getting into the next round felt just like a normal day. So I remember just being, you know, pretty nervous at first. And then as the game started, it was all gone.
We're in the second row on the right.
Hey, George. You know, we've seen you play through obviously a nagging elbow thing this year. I just wondered, did you learn anything new about yourself this season?
I mean, I think you always learn something about yourself. You know, every season's totally different. There's going to be different challenges, different adversities. You know, there's going to be times where you've seen stuff that you can, you know, understand before, and there's times you're going to be like, I've never been through this. And, you know, I'm happy with the way I was able to kind of, you know, fight and battle through some stuff and not really complain and just go out and play. But at the end of the day, there's not anybody that's going to make an excuse for me. So I'm not going to do it either. I'm just going to go play, and, you know, I'm happy to be here.
Back in the left.
Right here, George. Oh, yeah, thanks. Along the lines, actually, of Caitlin's question, you know, you did go through some elbow stuff this season and still posted strong offensive numbers and kept playing center field. Just wondering how you're feeling physically at this point, maybe compared to, you know, beginning of August, end of July when you were dealing with that initially.
I think the easiest way to answer that is it's October. I'll be fine. You know, I'm gonna do anything I can to play. I'm gonna do anything I can to make sure that I stay on the field. You know, again, this could be the end of our season or not. So it doesn't matter. I'm going to strap up for however many it takes, and I'll be all right.
Right here in the middle, on the left.
I'm wondering, how much does the crowd play into it for you? I mean, if I mean, obviously you're focused on the game. I mean, people talk a lot about, you know, home field advantage with the crowd, fans cheering and all that, but I always wondered whether or not that's overblown. Is it going to be is it a big deal for you guys to hear the screams, or is it the same just for both teams?
I mean, I know for us, the fact that the crowd will be cheering for us is huge. You know, I don't know what it's like, you know, for them, obviously. But to have the home crowd is obviously great. And I think one of the things is it definitely makes it easier to communicate in the outfield, you know, when you have the home crowd, just because, I mean, at least I would hope that they're not trying to mess you up out there and say I got it and all that good stuff. But it's fun, you know. Again, these are the moments that you love, and to have a loud crowd, you know, an energetic crowd is always awesome to play in.
Far right on the middle.
Hey, George. Thanks for your time here. Very obviously, you guys have been swinging the bat extremely well, maybe for the last 4 or 6 weeks here. How do you expect that to carry over in October baseball?
I expect us to just go do what we've been doing. You know, obviously, you know, who we're going to face is not an easy task by any stretch of the imagination. So, you know, again, it's about staying within ourselves. You know, having a controlled approach. You know, trying to slow things down and, you know, just put a good swing on a pitch and you move on.
We've talked a lot about Bo's month of September, an up and down season for him, up and down season for Vlad, and the mental adjustments that come with that. In your experience, how do you sort of veer away from the trap of trying to be the guy at all times and really trusting the lineup that's behind you?
I think just understanding that you don't always have to hit the 5-run homer. You know, you don't have to do things that you don't know how to do. You don't have to be somebody that you're not. Just go be who you are. And if you don't succeed, just have faith in the guy behind you. And you can roll that over as many times as you want. You know, I know that may sound obvious and all that stuff, but that's the truth. You know, don't try to do too much. Just do what you can in the moment and you move on.
Back in the middle
Hey, George, is there an aspect of this team you feel gives you guys an edge this time of year, or something that gives you an advantage in October?
I mean, I wouldn't point to one thing, in particular. I just think that this is a team that, is a very kind of unpredictable team. You can go out and score 5-6 runs in a hurry, and string together at bats. Play good defense. Pitch well. So I just think, for us, it's about staying in the moment. Stay in the moment at the best that we can, and we'll see what happens.
Last one for George over here.
George, one of your teammates said last week that he considers you to be the engine of this team. He said, when Springer leads off the game with a hit, we get 10 hits. Obviously, when you got here...
What about if I don't?
he didn't say that. He didn't say anything about that. But obviously, when you got here, it was important for you to be the leadoff man that you'd done in Houston for so long. How much do you relish that role to be able to get things going?
Yeah, I mean, I love it. It's awesome. I love to set the tone. To try to have a good quality at bat. Hit a ball hard. It's not always about a hit. I can go up there. Have an 8-9 pitch at bat, and hopefully pass the baton on to the next guy. So I love the moment. It's fun. It is a little bit interesting being the first one of the game, just because you don't know how hard the guy's going to be throwing. You don't know what the stuff is going to look like, but who cares? I mean, it's fun. So, I look forward to that moment, and, hopefully I can be successful at it today.
And just to follow up, I guess, if that's okay?
Quickly.
You've said for the last little while when we've been talking about the playoffs, have fun. If it doesn't work, oh well. Is that attitude, does that serve somebody better than the guy who's like, this means everything, and if we don't win, it's the end of the world?
I think every person's different. I think, everyone's motivated by different things. They process things, in other ways. I mean, I know for me personally, that's my mentality of just have fun, enjoy it. Because again, you just don't know if you're ever going to get back here. And I learned that last year, and you learn to appreciate things and to kind of understand things. And again, to have this opportunity in our home ballpark, our home city is something special. So, for the guys that do it that way, cool. For the guys that don't, I don't care. Just go enjoy the game to however you can, and we'll see what happens.
Thanks for coming in, George.
Yep.
Anything else for John?
All right, great.
Right here in the middle.
Hi, John. We've just been asking Bo and George about sort of the atmosphere in the city and in the stadium. What are you expecting today? And have you felt sort of a build-up towards this?
Yes, I think so. I think guys have been waiting for this for a little bit. It's a group that's very confident and very talented, so I think they're very excited to be here right now. As far as the atmosphere, I can't wait. Assuming it's going to be loud, assuming it's going to be very energetic. Roof's going to be closed. It's going to be a little bit extra probably because of that, but we know the passion of this fan base, and I think over the last couple of years with us not being here as well, it's going to be that much more. So trying to just enjoy the first couple minutes and then get down to baseball.
How will you know when things are going right? Obviously, a Gatorade splash at the end of the game would be it, but before that, how would you know?
I mean, looking at the at-bats against Castillo to start, watching Manoah navigate through their lineup the first time, taking care of the ball defensively, and playing the type of game that's gotten us here. So kind of feel the opposition out, feel the starter out, make necessary adjustments, and go from there. But, we're confident with the brand of baseball we're playing right now.
Back on the right there.
Hey, John. Thanks for your time. George was just talking about how much he likes batting leadoff, especially in moments like these. And he's obviously a guy that has had some postseason experience here. How valuable is it for you to have George Springer take the batter's box for the very first at bat of this game?
Yeah, hopefully it's after 3 quick outs today. But, I mean, having him, his presence, his experience, not just the first time, but every time that spot comes up again is huge. I think he sets the tone for us offensively, both with his performance and with the preparation that goes into each game. And, couldn't ask for a better guy when you're talking about contact, on base, damage potential. He's been one of the best in the game for a while.
Right here in the front.
Hey, John. Yesterday, Alex said to us, pressure's something you put in your tires. I just wondered, have you seen him around?
Of course he did.
Have you seen him around today? What's he been like? What's his demeanor like? And how excited are you to watch him?
I haven't seen him yet. I've been stuck in my office. I'm sure his demeanor is great. I'm sure his routine is spot on to what it's been all year. Yesterday, just in talking to him, he's really ready for this moment, and expect him to kind of go about it like it's a normal start, and confident that he can handle the situation. So I'm sure he's doing his thing right now, as he usually does.
The third row on the far right.
Hey, Mike.
John. Hey, John. I think, when people took a look at this roster at the beginning of the season and ran down who's on it, who's where, nobody expected Danny Jansen to be leading you in OPS when the season is over, even though he didn't qualify. What's it been to see him, especially since he got back from the latest injury, how he's played in September to earn a spot even when he's not catching?
Yeah, his at-bats have been tremendous, and I think, for not a long time, but for the first part of his career, especially when he got to the big leagues, he was trying to do things that maybe not were his strength, and, this year kind of leaned into what made him really good in terms of pulling the ball and in terms of, trying to do some damage. So I think that's translated into, better swings as a whole, and, love his at-bats right now, love the aggressiveness. Couldn't be happier for him for kind of turning it around. So yeah, happy for him, and it's been a great addition for us, the way he's gone about it.
Back right there in the middle.
Hey, John, this will be your first time managing in the postseason. Are there the same kind of nerves or feelings in the morning that a player playing in the first postseason game would feel?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think if you're not nervous, you're not where you should be. You're a little bit nervous, but you feel good about your prep and your process and all that kind of stuff. So I think the normal check down of a game is going to be the same, but you definitely wake up feeling very excited. This is something I've been looking forward to for a long time with this organization and this fan base. So there is a little bit extra there. So just try to take that in early and remember where your feet are and enjoy it. But at the same time, you trust the prep work that you've done, and once that first pitch gets thrown, you're kind of back down to business. But really looking forward to it.
Have you talked to any other managers who have managed in these games and asked for advice or any tips?
No, not off the top of my head. I've spoken to Gibby, once earlier in the year, and I think players, that have been here before, and listening to them talk about the atmosphere here in the postseason, listening to Pete and Louie talk about it when they were here in 15 and 16, what to expect. Just excited to be a big part of it, especially with the group of players that are here.
Just left of center here, John.
The hockey season starts next week. And
It does?
Yeah.
Oh.
There you go. Maple Leafs used to be the only thing here people would cheer for, really, and everything was secondary. That kind of changed 2015-16.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you think it's at now? Do you think people do you think it's a Blue Jays town right now because the playoffs are starting?
I would hope so. I think that this team has been through a lot. This team has not played here the last couple of years consistently, so I would hope that the support is there. We love playing here. We love the support of the fan base, not only here but across the country. So yeah, that's the hope. I know that hockey runs deep here in Canada, and hopefully the Jays can kind of flip the switch and hold off that hockey season for a little bit. But we're excited to be here in front of our fans.
Back left, John.
John, do you have a vivid memory of seeing playoff baseball for the first time, whether on television or in person?
At the big league level, or just in general? Man, I was, when I was really into it, you're watching playoff games on TV. I remember watching, probably the most vivid memory was in 15, us against Texas. I told the story before. I was getting married that weekend to my wife, and my parents and her parents were at our house, and we were watching the Jays-Rangers game. We had dinner reservations, and me and my father and my father-in-law said, okay, ladies, we'll meet you at dinner after this inning's over. And that inning happened to be the 7th inning. So needless to say, we missed dinner. But I think that jumps out to me. I've always been a baseball fan. I've watched every World Series, for as long as I can remember, every playoff game for as long as I can remember. there's certain things that stick out. There's certain situations that always come up, and you try to put yourself in those situations. And here we are now. So it's been a cool ride, and thankful to be here in this role as opposed to watching it on TV.
Far right, third row.
So having watched every World Series that you can remember, I mean, they say that sports are never as good as they were when you were 12 years old. And when you were 12 years old, that was the Blue Jays winning the World Series,
Mm-hmm.
right? So is that an impactful memory for you?
I mean, touch 'em all, Joe, right? I mean, or that was 92. Sorry, that was in Atlanta. 93 was touch 'em all, Joe. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, I think every clip or every video clip that you see get played over and over again, it's something that you watch and something you remember. I remember the Blue Jays being dominant and winning back-to-back years for sure, and the talent on those teams was incredible. And we're trying to get back to that level, obviously. So, but those are definitely two teams that stood out for sure.
Anything else for John? All right. Thanks for coming in, John.
Thank you, guys.